Look who's back for the Philadelphia 76ers.
Stop babying that man.
Joel Embiid will play, will start tonight as the Sixers, after losing the home court advantage in Game 2, head to Miami. D-Wade has been sensational off the Heat bench. 20 a game, 65% shooting. The series lead on the line in Miami. The Sixers and Heat, called by Brian Anderson, Kevin McHale, and Rebecca Harlow, followed by the Warriors and Spurs. Ettore Messina will be coaching in place of Greg Popovich in that one. And NBA TV has the Blazers and Pelicans at 9 o'clock Eastern. Here in Atlanta, Studio J, TNT NBA tip-off, presented by Auto Trader. Ernie Johnson, Shaq, Kenny, and Charles. And this series fixing to go to a different level now that Joel Embiid cleared to play starting tonight.
Have they decided if he's going to start or not?
Yes,
he's starting. Well, it's going to be interesting. He's been out of the mix for a long time. He's going to get him a great jolt of energy, but the crowd in Miami is going to be going crazy. He's going to be nervous. He can't try to do too much. That's the key when you come back from an injury. Just let the game come to you.
Making his postseason debut, obviously, the phantom of the process with the mask and goggle combination going on in this one. I'm thinking this brings Hassan Whiteside more into play on the Miami side too.
Well, Charles just made a statement about let the game come to you, and a lot of times people don't even understand what that means. Sometimes I don't even understand what that means. So for me, I think that he is a good enough player to say, I have to be offensively aggressive and defensively aggressive. And then if it's not falling, shots aren't falling, then create opportunities for others. But I think if he waits and tries to be part of the game, that's what he could do when he's healthy and when he's been playing. But I think, Chuck, he's got to come out and test the water and then judge it by that, how aggressive to be.
Well, what he means by that, let the game come to you, because, I was a similar player to Chuck. You want to come out aggressive and make a name for yourself. If the first shot falls, you keep going.
You keep going.
If your first couple shots don't fall, you take it easy, see what everybody else is doing.
All right.
Stay out of trial trouble. But, Chuck, I agree with you, let the game come to them. I think this is going to go deep in the playoffs. What I mean by that, Game 1, Philly shot lights out, they won. Second game, D-Wade came out of nowhere, 28 points, they won Game 2. Chuck, I agree with you, it's going to be a very interesting game, but I don't know who's favored in this series yet.
Well, I tell you what's going to be interesting. I think the Whiteside thing.
That's what I was trying to get to with you guys earlier, because his impact has been minimal so far.
Because they're better without him, Ernie.
But the last time Philadelphia lost a game on the road, it was in Miami, and Whiteside went 26-8. He and Embiid have had this thing going on all season long.
That's called hatred,
I think that gets Whiteside more engaged in this series.
Yes, Ernie, it will get Whiteside more involved, but he's so he's just not consistent at all. No. He hates Embiid.
Cut it out.
Embiid hates him, but the Heat are better without him. It's plain and simple.
Well, I disagree with you. Whiteside is Capella that doesn't get the drop-offs. He's only averaging 3 points. He's not touching the ball. He's not even playing the game. The first game.
Well, first of all, Capella's a better player than him.
Capella
is better than Whiteside.
Drop-offs. Cut it out. Capella gets
he works harder.
He still gets drop-offs. Don't act like they call a play for him, man.
They does it, but I'm saying Capella works. He works a lot harder.
The man had 26 the last time they beat.
I know that, but he has 26 once a month.
Kenny, if you get him some touches.
I would say this: the Heat are playing better without him, but they can't win without him.
They cannot. I agree with that. But that's only if he's going to play with a guy who's going to get 26.
If he's going to get me 3 this series.
Let me tell you something. I ain't never had 3 points in my worst day.
He only had 6 shots in the whole series.
Well, that's because he only played.
He's not getting no touch.
Can't score from the bench.
Exactly.
But that's the reason he's on the bench. They're not a coach don't bench a player
without the
just for the hell of it.
That's what it is. He's Capella without the drop-off.
Meantime, how much can D-Wade sustain in the way he's playing right now? 65% shooting, 20 a night, had 28 in Game 2.
He can't sustain it over
36.
He can't sustain it over 7 games. But if you could count on a Game 1, a Game 4, and a Game 7 where he could play well, you could count on that. Maybe you can't count on 7 straight games, where he could dominate like he did when he was playing with Shaq. But every other game, he could do this. This is the type of effort he can give you.
Let me tell you something.
Every 2 or 3 games.
Dwayne Wade did his job.
Yeah.
He got him a split in Philly. Now it's up to those other guys to get off their behind and do something. Dwayne Wade did what he was supposed to do. He got them a split. Now it's up to those other guys to win these next 2 games at home, plain and simple.
Exactly. You're at home and there ain't no excuses.
Miami bench, by the way, been great in this series. 52% of Miami's points have come off of the bench, and the series is tied at a game apiece. Joel Embiid gets into the act tonight in Game 3. Cannot wait. It's off to Miami next.
He got a mask and goggles?
Yes.
The process. He would have gave it to you too, Shaq.
I know he would have. I still would have been juggling these things right on my little left finger.
Coach, it all about TJ's use over you in the second half yesterday?
No, not really. But like I said, I'm all about the team, really. So any decision that he made, I'm fine with it. He thought that was the better decision, and I was still there cheering on my teammates, trying to help them stay motivated. So
after the game, he was talking about the physicality of the game, that being one of the reasons why he went with TJ. What did you see from the physicality, just given the fact you haven't really been there before? It's all new.
I mean, obviously they were very physical. I don't think that was like something that we were shocked by. We knew they were going to come out more physical. I mean, that was one of the emphasis they had coming in. So that's all I really seen, that they just came out more aggressive and more physical.
That's something that, you were talking about the other day, that you were kind of preparing yourself for. You were looking forward to that.
Mm-hmm.
Is that your mindset?
Definitely still is. I mean, every time I step on the court, I'm still going to go out there and play my hardest. No matter how long I'm out there, I'm going to go out there and be as physical as I can and bring my tools that I can help this team with. So
it seemed like they picked up pressure along a lot the other night. How does that screw up or change your timing and the rhythm of your sets and whatnot?
I think it can help us a lot, because when team pressure, we can just be able to attack and either get to the rim. We have great athletes and we have great shooters, so get to the rim and be able to score. I think we just got I don't think we were exactly ready for it at the time it happened, but we adjusted and we started getting better. But it's something that we're definitely going to be ready for next game.
How much do you think, going forward, it's things to be decided based on schematic and what each team does, or just like which team has more will? Because it looks like, I know you didn't play in all of them, but all the games between these teams this season, it was like pretty much effort, fight. That was a big theme.
For sure. I mean, I think that's always going to be the biggest thing is effort. That's one of the biggest things you can bring out there and compete, because if you got skill and you're out there just relaxing, somebody who's playing with more effort is definitely going to get the best out of it. So, I mean, I think it's just a matter of game planning and just going out there playing as hard as you can. So,
Barkley, I know you've only been here for this year, but in a big picture sense, what, if anything, are you guys as a team trying to prove to the league about where you are now versus where you were the last few years?
I think we're trying to prove that we're sticking in this moment now. We're not worried about the future, about going further next year. We're in the present right now, and we want to go as far as we can this year and prove to everybody that we're talented enough to do that.
What do you think you guys can anticipate now from taking the series on the road?
That it's going to be physical. We can't really look for calls, and we're going to have to play hard. We know they're going to try to get into us, pressure us, so I think we're going to be well prepared for that. So,
what kind of looks was Dwayne Wade giving you? He was guarding out defense. What was he trying to do with you?
I think he was trying to pressure me and then sometimes fall back, but I mean, I wasn't out there a lot to really find out what he's doing, but I think he was doing what any vet would do, is just try to pressure you and give you different looks. So,
when you talk about the physicality being different from the Heat, what are they doing that they weren't doing in Game 1 that other teams weren't doing towards the end of the regular season?
I think they're just trying to be more physical, trying to really speed us up and then pressure us full court. Just a lot of things, just being like hit you every time. No layups. I mean, that's playoff basketball. That's what the NBA is. So I think they were just doing their best to try to get us off our game plan.
What do you think you have to show Brett in order for you to get more playing time in the next game? What do you got to correct?
Just an opportunity, really. I think I have the physicality. I have everything. It's just a matter of if he feels comfortable, really. I mean, I'm going to keep doing everything I'm doing every day, and once I get my opportunity, I'm going to go out there and show it, and then it goes off that.
Joel, expressed some frustration about not being able to play last night. Is he kind of the same way with you guys, just frustrated about the situation and wanting to be back?
I mean, he's a competitor. I mean, he loves this game so much. And anybody who's a competitor and gets hurt and is out there watching your team, I mean, I kind of went through that too, just watching your team out there. Of course you're going to want to be out there, but, I mean, they're all going through what's best for him and what's best for the team. And he'll be out there when the time's right.
Joe, what do you think the biggest difference will be when you do get Joel Embiid back? I mean, obviously you guys had a degree of success without him, but he's been so important to this team. What do you think the biggest difference will be?
I mean, everybody knows he's a low post presence who can score at any given moment. Then on the defensive end, we got somebody else down there who can alter shots and have your back once you get blown by or maybe have a mistake. And then he can stretch the floor, shoot threes. So he's just a great player that can go out there and help in many different ways.
Thanks, Markel.
Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Yeah. Oh, I mean, as you see, a lot of guys around the league respect Coach Pop. I think a lot of it is from the relationship that he has with players that don't even play with him. And the fun that he has with you throughout games, etc. But when you hear news, of anyone in this league, is dealing with, anything from the standpoint of tragedy in their families, it always touches you. It always, make the world stop. It makes you have a moment to pray for them and his family because it's a tough time. So, not knowing anything about his wife, and I've never met her, but when I initially heard the news, I was with my wife, and we just both stopped everything we was doing, and you just kind of had a moment, of mourning, of his wife, and praying for his family, and hoping that this tough time, that they will push through together. So, but I think LeBron said it best. We all compete against each other in this league, and we all on opposite benches, but in some form, in some way, it's a bond and a brotherhood in the game of basketball from everybody. So it's a sad moment for the NBA whenever someone loses someone close to them, like Coach Pop did.
Dwayne, this has obviously been an adjustment for you, playing as a reserve in the playoffs for
Yeah.
the first time. What's it like to sort of get your juices going, the crowd's going, the game's starting, and you're on the bench, and then sort of get yourself into the middle of the spirit once the game is going on? What's that shift been like for you?
First of all, this is cool. This is cool. That's good because I was, it's kind of like, playoff time, and what you're used to is, coming and preparing for the game, and you run out, and the crowd's going wild, and you're getting into that mode, and you're so used to having to start the game off right. You're so used to using that crowd energy to get you, going, but you're not able to because of your role. So it's definitely been different, but I've been, just trying to focus on what I need to do when I get in the game, and focus on the guys on the court, and not focus on yourself. So what I've been trying to do is focus on before the games, talking to the guys that's out there, trying to help them with what I see, what they need to do. Try to be more of a cheerleader in there to keep yourself engaged, but also watch, because you do get a chance to kind of sit back and watch to see how the game or the flow is going. And when you get out there, hopefully be able to, jump right into from what you've seen. So, it's been a different, in my 15th year to be coming off the bench, here in the playoffs is something that I never thought I would do, but I also never thought I'd be playing 15 years. So, who cares?
When you have these 2-day gaps between games, how critical are those? I mean, obviously everyone needs to travel back, sure, and everybody will take the rest this time of year too, but how critical are those in terms of, especially with your young group, getting more intake, getting more nuance, more detail into little things, the minutia of what's working, what you need to take away, getting the extra time to help in that regard?
I don't know, Tim. I think we all know in the playoffs, you ever get 2 days, you take it for break purposes of your body, because your body go through so much. I don't know. When you got a locker room full of stubborn guys, like we have, 1 day in between in Philly was perfect, because it made us get right back to it. It took 1 day for us to learn what we need to do. You coming off a win, having 2 days, you hope that, that you don't ease away from, that mindset that you needed. So I think, after having 1 day in between the first time and losing, we still was in a angry, like frustrated, all these kind of mindset. And then you get 2 days off, to come back in the sun, and you done won one. So hopefully, in our minds, we can still manifest that same focus that we need, and that we had in game 2, from the way that we approached the game. The game is going to go different in between the lines, but the way we approached it was the right way. So, hopefully so.
Along those lines, too, there was clear anger. You guys lose game 1 the way you did. Obviously, you guys are going to be pretty fired up for game 2. How do you replicate that same emotion tonight coming off the double?
Yeah, it's just trying to play with an edge, more so than anything. At this time of the year, we have to. And I think, and I know it's cliche and everyone says it, but I think for this team, we have to understand what our identity is and the way that we've been successful before I got here and since I've been here. It's playing with that edge. And when we don't play with that edge, we're a middle of the road kind of team. And when we play with that edge, we can win anywhere, in a sense. So, that's what you're trying to, as leaders, that's what myself, that's what Udonis, that's what the coaching staff, that's what everyone is trying to continue to let the message, go across to everybody is, hey, we got to play with that edge, man. We got to play with that look in our eyes that we have, and it still ain't going to guarantee you a win, but, it would be better for it.
Ben Simmons has talked about the fact that he watched your game growing up. What have been your impressions of him in this series, and also what's it like going up against a guy that watched you, before he was in the league?
Well, it's been a lot of guys that's fortunately have watched me before they got in the league. I've been around for a while, and I had a lot of playoff success and et cetera. But, a guy like Ben is someone who, I've seen and I've worked out with. When he was in high school, being around watching me and LeBron work out at different places, and just, you could see the way he looked, at guys like ourselves and how we worked. He was taking notes, mental notes. And then, to see him a few years later and see, where he is in this game, the effect that he has on the state and the city, with his ability to play the game of basketball at such a high level, it's impressive. And, from a fan standpoint, I'm happy for him and his success. As a competitor, we're trying to figure out ways to, get our team to the next round. And it's fun, for me to be going up against, one of the future stars of this league. And I'm sure for him to be going up against, one of the older guys that he watched growing up. So that's the cool thing about this game, being able to be 19 and some guys 36 and older, to be able to cross paths. Even though some guys probably enter the NBA and you was, still in diapers. But at some point, if they stay around long enough, you can cross paths. There's something cool about that. So, yeah.
How long ago was that first workout where he was watching you and LeBron? Do you remember how many years ago?
No, I wish I did. My mind is got a lot going on up here. But it was a long time ago. He was very young still. First time I met him, first time I heard about him being, a high school phenom. And just real quiet guy, just sitting back in the cut, just watching. We was in the weight room and working out different places. I don't remember, but it was cool. And then I seen him. He was at he was at AAU. My son plays AAU, and he was out there. So you just have moments of watching this guy and grow, and to see where he is now. He's not just a rookie of the year candidate. He's a very good basketball player. And, we have our work cut out for us every night because of what he brings, to that team.
Last question, guys.
How tough is it to come in the NBA when you have young guys, so many young guys, like Justice says he played with them, to get that, like, you got to have that kind of that dislike when it comes to playoff time, don't you? Can you muster it up?
It's not about a dislike. It's just having an edge to go out there and do your job, to understand that, what's your greatest strength versus what's his greatest strength, and trying to take some of it away. Justice's greatest strength is being, being aggressive defensively. Being greatest strength is his ability to push the pace, to run the team, all these things. So it's just about having that edge and also understanding at this time of the year, what is my greatest strength? How can I make sure that my team and me individually, how can I be successful enough against that guy or that team? And that's what it's all about. It's not about a dislike. Yeah, you're going to have some hard fouls. There's going to be some blood. There's going to be this and that. But that's the game of basketball that we play. And that's the fun part of it that everyone loves to watch. All right.
Any real indication that Mr. Hart's going to come for an agreement?
Don't really care. We're not friends right now.
Has he turned into your spec?
No. I don't need that. But no. But we made it very clear we're not friends now. We will be friends after the playoffs is over with. We're not friends. I don't like him.
The latest on Joel from this Vision line?
He still remains doubtful. He went through stuff yesterday that was decent. He had a little bit of contact, trying to get used to the mask. Felt some bodies. But at this stage this morning, we are listing him as doubtful.
You always talk about appropriate fear for a while, at the same time, sense of urgency that comes with this time of year.
I mean, I think it's sort of like the circle of life, where you start a year and you prioritize things, then in full swing you end up where you started. I feel like we chose the right things to do and practice and cultivate, our way of playing basketball for a while now. And so to point to things that will let us win and get back on track and try to, reclaim serve, it's where we started in September. Like, there it is. It's not like we have to reintroduce a new rotation. It's not like we have to find this magic play. It's not like we have to do anything different, defensively, really. And it ends up just like the circle of life to me, basketball-wise, where we started, we end up. And I feel confident that we've chosen the right things to talk about, work on, drill, cultivate throughout the year, and to reclaim confidence, find a way to win. They just need to look in the rearview mirror and be reminded of who we are and what we've prioritized.
Brett, what do you have to see? I know, Embiid's doubtful and you guys are being extremely careful with him, but what do you have to see specifically from him to play him?
I mean, it's a collaborative thing with Joel and doctors and me. It's all this stuff that revolves around comfort and we feel like we're responsible with his health, those types of things.
Brett, is the plan today to go back to Markel in that same backup role, or is that kind of up for debate after?
No, it is. I will go back to Markel. Yeah.
What led you to that decision?
Because he deserves the opportunity to play basketball in that role again. I think, like everybody, you judge it after the event, and my belief is that he will learn from the last situation. The physicality of the game got raised, and we're going to go back to him again.
What will he have to do to stay on the court longer than last time?
I mean, it's so much of it is a gut feel for me, like a basic stuff, getting us into our offense, how successful is he, getting into the paint and handling their pressure, those types of things.
But a big deal was made after game 2, like people saying Joel didn't play. And then you take a couple days to look at it and you realize that it was one of those things, if you guys would have made some more shots, we'd probably be talking a different story. So when you look at it, going back, do you think it was more of like that pressure, you knew they were going to pressure y'all, or do you think it was just a matter of guys just weren't on their game that night?
I think we can all just shut shop and watch the second period. We won the first period, we won the third period, we won the fourth period. We were terrible in the second period, and I give Miami credit. I give them a lot of credit. Some of it was self-inflicted. And so all those things are true in regards to, wanting more and trying to do better, and, hopefully we can make some more shots. But we should all just zoom into the third period, and it is the reason that we lost that game.
Coach, road stadiums are always a little more intense in the playoffs. How do you handle that with such a young team?
You embrace it. I like our guys. You know, I think if they have shown anything, they have shown a belief. They've shown a togetherness. I think that there's a mental toughness that has been emerging, you know, with this group over the past month and a half, 2 months for sure, since the All-Star break. I feel like if you look at, you know, our ability to close out games and come back into games, we've shown that. And I think those things will serve us well tonight. I am not intimidated by the road. Our guys, and I speak, you know, I think as the coach of the team, we are not intimidated by the road. I think that it's going to bring even a higher level of sort of togetherness into this group.
How much time have you thought about things you can do defensively against Dwayne Wade, or is it just one of those things where he's knocking down shots like that?
No, I think we can do a few things differently. You know, there's always like the subtle stuff. He for sure, you know, got all of our attention with sort of the ease in which he scored. When I go back and look at some of the shots he made, I don't have a problem with our hands on his balls, the contested shots. He made tough shots. Just the pace of which, you know, he got those shots is always on my mind.
Given Whiteside's body of work, is he someone that, regardless of how his series has started, you always have to keep in the back of your mind that he's got the potential to have an impact?
All over the place. I mean, he is their, you know, interior difference maker for good reason. Like, you got to have a plan. You go in there, you got to have a plan. You got to go to dunk it. You got to go to the paint and throw it out to somebody that's open on a three, or little drop-off passes to other players. But you got to have a plan if you drive the paint with him in there. And I think that he's a committed offensive rebounder. Like, you really have to maybe tag team hits, and it can't just be the guy that's guarding Whiteside. It might have to be somebody coming from the perimeter in to help their teammate make that hit. He's a committed offensive rebounder.
Wade, when he kind of gets going, how much energy do you think his other teammates kind of feed off that when he kind of got his team going?
I think a lot. You know, like, it's vintage Dwayne Wade. There's a security blanket that they have in him that he, you know, been there, done that. Body of work is on the table, and he sure doesn't back away from the moment. And there is no doubt in my mind that his teammates would feel that and feed off that. And you know, somebody that good, that's been that good for that long, you know, it's a natural reaction.
Obviously, everyone in the league feels the pop this morning. What sort of shock was that for you to hear yesterday?
I mean, I've been with Pop a long time. I've known Aaron Popovich a long time. Their family is wonderful. Their family has been incredibly kind to my family. And she was a star, like a real star. Just a very strong woman, you know, and was somebody that will be missed.
Well, I'm sorry to even ask a basketball question after that. I know you guys can't put together conditions for like a 5-on-5 contact type scrimmage between teams, but this doesn't happen at this point. If you were able to create that, would you guys feel comfortable with Joel taking that kind of contact at this point, or is it not?
He's getting there. You know, to just let him go out there right now, it's still all on the table. You know, it's, you guys know what I know. It's like he did some contact yesterday. You know, it's progressing. I don't feel like I can really share anything new. You know, I'm just making stuff up. Really, I mean, you know.
Thanks, Brett.
Okay.
Thank you.
I think so, you know, especially the catch and shoot players, when they come out of the screen, sometimes we got two guys challenging the shot. And, you know, when the big guys challenge the shot, that give their big guys, you know, straight line to offensive rebounds. So we need to be more consistent with that and try to get our bigs to big guys. And for our guards, we need to contest those shots better so the big guys doesn't contest them too. So.
Spo said that this last game for Hassan that he was happy with the way he played, the aggressiveness on defense and that stuff. I know it's kind of hard for him in this series since the way they're playing offensively. How do you guys try to keep him encouraged and engaged in the series when they're doing what they're doing on their end?
I think so. He understands, that his moments they're gonna come, and it's a tough mismatch because they're playing with stretch force all the time. But I don't know if Embiid gonna come back. We're gonna need Hassan. We know what he's capable of doing, so I think so. His head is at the right place. He's talking to us. He looks, involved and everything. So I think so. He's gonna be ready.
Do you need to get him involved more in offense, you think? And he's only had six shots so far, so not too many opportunities.
Yeah, I think so. We have to, but it's kind of a tough because they play similar than Charlotte. Everybody's inside the paint. They want, and it's really tough to get those clean looks for him, especially alley-oops, and they usually he gets or pocket passes. So, but definitely, we want to make sure that he gets more balls and try to get him involved.
How impressive has JJ been his first 2 games, defending, being the primary defender on Ben, and then offensively he's put up.
Yeah, really. I mean, really impressive. It's for me, it's nothing surprising. We know what he's capable of. He was doing that last season, this season, and he's a two-way player. He can guard multiple positions. He's a great ball handling, great passer. So nothing surprised me.
Spo keeps calling him the heart and soul of his team. Why do you think that is? Why do I guess you guys follow him?
Because he's a warrior. He's always gonna. He doesn't use excuses. He can do everything what it takes to win, and that's why he's such a great leader, great captain, and everybody's following him. Great person to be around, funny guy, and he got everything what it takes.
I know he had 18 points in game 2 and didn't miss a shot. I asked him after game 1 because he had 13 points at halftime and he took 2 shots in the second half. I said, why don't you stay that aggressive? And he said, I got to get my teammates involved. Do you at all ever go to JJ and say, look?
No, we do. We do, especially when we know that they're switching with position 4s and 1s, and we play pick and roll. Usually that pocket pass is open, and when we hit him on the pocket pass, we want him to be aggressive because with his ability to lay it up or dunk it over the guy, it's kind of kills the momentum for the opposing team. And usually sometimes he wants to pass to the corner, to the shooters, and that happens basically today in practice.
Right, yeah.
So everybody was on him. No, we want you to be aggressive.
So it's a constant thing. You guys have kind of been doing this all year long.
Yeah.
And as far as the guys that cover you league-wide, I know Covington is he's one of the best defenders in the league. Is he up there for you personally? Do you feel that's one of your toughest defensive challenges in the league?
I mean, I don't know. It's not. I had good numbers against Philly in regular season.
Right.
It's just like I said, I got my looks that I wanted. The ball didn't want to go in. Last game I only played 25 minutes, and it's. I mean, of course, he has something to do it. Of course, not only him, the whole Philly team.
Right.
They're really long, disruptive. They get a lot of deflections, and it's not easy to play against them guys.
I'm gonna say you guys went from 4 deflections in the first game to 27 in the second. How important is that to this defense and the way you play against them?
It's really important because the first game our coverage was a little bit different. Stay off Simmons and try to stunt to those shooters, and he was. I would love to have this, that nobody pressure me and you have all day and passing the ball on this. And, we changed that. We were much aggressive, and you can see it, 27 deflections. We still want that number to go higher, over 30. But, yeah.
They started dialing up their pick and roll defense on you in the second half of that game, a lot more blitzes.
Yeah, not only me, DOA too, yeah.
Yeah, but you've seen that all year.
Yeah.
With what they did in the second half, are you expecting a little bit more of that?
Yeah. Of course. They want to take the ball out of me and D-Wade's hands, and I think so. We're ready. A lot of teams they're blitzing us the whole season. We just need to work as a unit together, you know, so the guy pulls behind us, and when you have two guys on you, you just pass it, and then you play the percentages, you know. It's less guys on the weak side, and try to make the right play for the open shot.
If the pocket pass to the ball guy isn't open, and they blitz you like that, what's your safety valve?
Like I said, the guy who's pulling over, the guy who needs to come. Basically, you know, if you play in the 45 and you go baseline, the guy from the middle of the court needs to pull over, so you have the outlet, you know, to pass the ball out.